I don't personally endorse this, but I found it an interesting thought experiment, which was look at AIDS research in the 70s and 80s and how it was perceived publicly. It was a taboo topic. You know, the word HIV carried with it a ton of social connotations, but there was a social movement around the early 80s, mid 80s. I remember Magic Johnson coming out and saying he has HIV. Around that same time, when the perception was changing in popular culture, a lot more funding was coming into research. A lot more funding. And in the 80s and 90s, there was dramatic increase in nonprofits and government funding in HIV and AIDS research. Today, if you're diagnosed with HIV, there's what they call the cocktail of pills that you can take to at least maintain your HIV. Things that were never available in the 80s. What if that happened in tinnitus? Now, we're not saying it is. We're not saying there will be a cocktail of drugs. Obviously not.
Well, what is it, Patrick? I know you know it.
Yeah. Hey, well, the conspiracy, you know, like the triumvirate actually told me they're waiting and they're going to release it in 5 years. I wish that were true, man. But the reality is there just hasn't been enough money going into it. And I've had conversations with folks who have tremendous capacity to give financially. They suffer from tinnitus themselves. And they ask me the same question, why isn't there more? And I think it goes back to the question we were talking about earlier, which is why haven't we all come together? It's cheesy, man, but it's true. When President Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I think the same is true here. If you can find it doesn't have to be the ATA, but if you can find an org that you believe in that is gonna help get us there, like do your part. Give $1, give 5, give 10, donate some time. If we all do our part to the org that we believe in, at least we can say we tried. I know it sounds a little fluffy and philosophical, but I think that's where we're at. I think we haven't had like that Magic Johnson moment where someone says, I have tinnitus, this is serious.